Michael Ray Richardson's ex-wife just revealed the shocking truth about his downfall, but what happened next will leave you speechless. In 1982, when a reporter asked New York Knicks star Michael Ray Richardson what was happening to his struggling team, he gave one of the most prophetic answers in sports history. "The ship be sinkin'," he said. When pressed about how far it could sink, Richardson replied, "Sky's the limit." Those words would haunt him for years to come. But this isn't just another story about a fallen athlete. This is about one of the most remarkable comebacks in basketball history and how the man who destroyed his career ultimately became the person who saved his life. Michael Ray Richardson was born in Lubbock, Texas in 1955. His family later moved to Denver, Colorado, where he attended Manual High School. Despite his obvious talent, Richardson didn't become a varsity starter until his senior year. He was playing on such a deep team that his abilities were almost overlooked. College scouts weren't overlooking him, though. The University of Montana recruited Richardson, and that's where his basketball career truly took off. He became a three-time first-team All-Big Sky Conference selection in 1976, 1977, and 1978. During his senior year, he averaged an incredible 24.2 points per game in 27 games, ranking 15th in the nation in scoring. Richardson still holds several University of Montana records today. His single-game scoring record of 40 points remains untouched. So does his single-game record of 18 field goals and his single-season scoring average of 24.2 points per game. What made Richardson's development even more remarkable was his position change. He played primarily as a small forward throughout most of high school and college. It wasn't until his senior year at Montana that he shifted to the backcourt. This late-stage transformation from forward to point guard was almost unheard of for someone who would soon become an elite NBA player. The New York Knicks saw something special in Richardson. They selected him as the 4th overall pick in the 1978 NBA draft. The pressure was immediate. He was billed as the next Walt Frazier, comparing him to one of the franchise's greatest legends. Richardson didn't disappoint. In just his second professional season, he achieved something that only 2 other players in NBA history had accomplished. He led the entire league in both assists and steals in the same season. This incredible feat also set New York Knicks team records and proved that Richardson was truly a special two-way player. His rare combination of skills became even more apparent as his career progressed. In 1985, while playing for the New Jersey Nets, Richardson came tantalizingly close to recording a quadruple-double. He finished that game with 38 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, and 9 steals. Just one more steal would have made history. Richardson's excellence was recognized league-wide. He earned 4 NBA All-Star selections in 1980, 1981, 1982, and 1985. He was also named to the All-Defensive First Team twice in 1980 and 1981. Over his 8-season NBA career with the Knicks, Golden State Warriors, and New Jersey Nets, Richardson averaged 14.8 points, 7.0 assists, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.6 steals per game across 556 regular season games. But Richardson's story cannot be understood without acknowledging the dark side of 1980s professional basketball. This was an era when recreational drug use, particularly cocaine, had found its way into professional sports. Richardson himself described a culture where players from opposing teams would openly discuss acquiring drugs during warm-ups. He called it like a fad. While some infamous stories from the early 1980s estimated that as many as 75% of NBA players use cocaine, Richardson believed this number was exaggerated. He put his estimate closer to 35 to 40%. Still, the problem was widespread enough to threaten the league's entire image. When David Stern became NBA commissioner in 1984, one of his primary goals was to clean up the game and improve its public perception. The league was in crisis mode. Tragic events like the death of Boston Celtics rookie Len Bias from a drug overdose in 1986 created a perfect storm. Richardson himself called Bias's death a wake-up call for everybody. The NBA developed a strict anti-drug policy with a 3-strike system. A third violation was punishable by a lifetime ban. On February 25, 1986, after his third violation, Michael Ray Richardson became the first active NBA player to be permanently banned from the league. Richardson wasn't just another player struggling with addiction. He became the public symbol for a widespread problem the league had previously tolerated. His ban was a highly visible, symbolic act that underscored the NBA's new zero-tolerance policy. The prophetic nature of his "ship be sinkin'" quote became painfully clear. What was intended to describe his team's struggles had become a haunting metaphor for his personal downfall. The quote suggested a man who, even at the height of his career, was somehow aware of his coming personal crisis. But Richardson's story didn't end with his ban. In a remarkable turn of events, he was reinstated by the NBA in 1988, just 2 years after being banned for life. However, in a move that speaks volumes about his personal journey, Richardson chose not to return to the NBA. Instead, he continued playing in minor leagues. He spent time with the Long Island Knights of the USBL and the Albany Patroons of the CBA, where he won a championship. This decision to forgo the prestige and high income of the NBA for a career in minor leagues was pivotal. It demonstrated that his motivation was rooted in genuine love for the game itself, rather than fame and money. Richardson's most enduring professional legacy came from his extensive career overseas. He spent more than a decade playing in Europe, from 1988 until he retired in 2002 at age 47. His journey took him through Italy, Croatia, and France, where he was highly successful and beloved by fans. He played for several prominent clubs, including Virtus Bologna, Split, Livorno, and Olympique Antibes. His time in Europe was marked by numerous championships. He won a FIBA European Cup Winners' Cup with Virtus Bologna in 1990, an Italian Cup, a Croatian Cup with KK Split, and a LNB Pro, a championship with Olympique Antibes in 1995. Following his retirement as a player, Richardson transitioned into coaching. He led the Albany Patroons to 2 CBA championships and coached the London Lightning to back-to-back NBL Canada championships in 2012 and 2013. His coaching success was recognized with multiple Coach of the Year awards in both the NBL Canada and the Premier Basketball League. Even in his coaching career, Richardson faced challenges. In 2007, he was suspended for inappropriate comments during an interview with the Albany Times-Union. But the response from David Stern, the man who had banned him, was telling. Stern defended Richardson, acknowledging that while some comments were inappropriate, he believed Richardson was not malicious, but rather unsettled, unsophisticated, and pliable. Today, Michael Ray Richardson lives a quiet, sober life in Oklahoma, focused on his health and family. He states that he has been sober for almost 40 years and that his life is now centered around his grandchildren. His journey toward recovery began with the embarrassment he felt for what he had put his family through. Richardson has dedicated his life to giving back. For more than 13 years, he has run free youth basketball clinics for underserved kids with his longtime friend and former teammate, Otis Birdsong. This work serves as a tangible symbol of his commitment to a better path. His recent memoir, Banned: How I Squandered an All-Star NBA Career Before Finding My Redemption, serves as a final, powerful act of public accountability. In the book, he admits to having an addictive personality and states clearly, "I can't blame anybody for what I did. I did it." Perhaps the most surprising aspect of Richardson's story is his relationship with David Stern. The man who ended his career is the very person Richardson credits with saving his life. Richardson has stated publicly that he holds no grudges and that Stern's ban opened my eyes and he got me back on the right track. This public gratitude fundamentally changed how people viewed Stern's legacy. It transformed him from a rigid, business-driven commissioner into someone who made a compassionate decision that ultimately saved a life. Stern's later efforts to help Richardson find jobs further cemented their unique bond. Despite his success as both a player and coach, Richardson has not been inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. He believes his on-court achievements, including his unprecedented statistical feats and lengthy championship-laden international career, are worthy of the honor. However, he acknowledges that his past struggles and the ban itself are likely reasons for his continued exclusion. This exclusion highlights a persistent challenge in how society views addiction recovery. Even after decades of sobriety, a successful second career, and a life of public accountability, the ban still prevents full recognition of his athletic achievements. But Richardson's legacy isn't defined by what he's missing from his trophy case. His story represents something far more valuable. He went from being a heralded star to a public example of disgrace, and then transformed himself into a grateful, sober family man. The central message of his memoir and the enduring theme of his life is profound. Despite being knocked down by his own choices, the only person that can count you out is yourself. Richardson's journey proves that a person's life, even when marked by tragic events, is never fully written until it's over. Michael Ray Richardson's career chronicles a talent so profound it bordered on generational, a fall so public it became a watershed moment, and a redemption so personal it remains largely unheralded. His story serves as both a cautionary tale about addiction and a powerful narrative about the human capacity for change and growth.